You know what's really weird? It's it tends to be the anime that I simply just take one look at and I think, oh, I'm going to have no interest in that. Push it aside to get to it later. Maybe it has an interesting title. Maybe the characters look kind of cool. I'm just, um, push it aside, put it on my list of something that is possible for me to watch when later on when I'm bored. And it's those anime that I push aside that after I watch them, I'm like, why did I push this aside? This is such an incredible story. Hello guys, welcome back to Dylan's Little Hobbies, and in today's video we are going to be talking about an anime that I literally pushed aside, that I originally did see some cover art on Hulu for, and I was like, okay, but I want to watch Ronin Kenshin because I heard a lot of good things about Ronin Kenshin. So I pushed this one to the side, said, alright, maybe after I get done watching Overlord, because I planned on watching Overlord after I got done watching Ronin Kenshin, right? And yes, I have done those videos, and it's really interesting. It's really interesting that this is one of those animes that I pushed aside for later because I ended up absolutely loving this show. I ended up loving this show. This is a really, really great show. You know what it reminds me of? And I know I end up doing this in every single one of my videos, guys. You guys gotta remember that this was my first anime ever. I just remember watching Naruto. Watching Naruto. The main character of Naruto. And through his adventures, through his friends' adventures, meeting these other characters, and learning more and more about the world that they live in was some of the best storytelling, storytelling is important, great characters is important, but you know what also makes a good story? A great world to take that story into. And Naruto, for example, I think is like one of the absolute best examples of how to take a world and really add depth to it. Well, here's another one that I think has probably some of the most interesting depth that I've seen in an anime in a long, long time. Overlord was fun. I even liked Ronin Kenshin, but like, not a lot of anime do that anymore. I tend to see, and I mean that there are some that actually do, and those are incredible, like My Hero Academia, for example. But I guess it's just because of the type of anime I've been kind of swinging into watching. They don't necessarily tell more of the world. They mostly just pay attention to the main character story, and that's great too. That's important to actually tell your main character story. But I find world building fascinating. I find world building interesting. And the fact that how you can use world building in your story is even better, right? Naruto, again, is a great example. And I really, really have enjoyed Fire Force for that alone. The world building in the show is absolutely great. I mean, kind of reminds me of another great show, Avatar: The Last Airbender has such great world building in it, another great show with a very important main character story, but again, the world building behind that and how that adds to the main character story is just so fun. I really enjoyed Avatar: The Last Airbender because of that, and it's the same thing with Fire Force. It's the same thing with Fire Force. So, what is Fire Force about? So, it's actually really kind of funny because when I first saw the image for the cover of the anime, it's a bunch of guys in fire uniforms, I thought, okay, this is just gonna be a slice of life anime about firefighters. Could be fun, could be interesting, but I like slice of life, but it's kind of like I'm not. I prefer slice of life stories in like big adventure stories, slice of life episodes and big adventure stories. Like Naruto has a lot of slice of life episodes in big adventure stories, right? But as for when you're talking about an anime that is completely slice of life, it can sometimes kind of be like, okay, I want some action in this story, and that's kind of my thing, and when it comes to the Fire Force, I was not expecting this to be what it ended up being. So, it's about these, again, firefighters, but they're not firefighters. They're Fire Force agents. And what they do is they take out not fires, but, and I know it sounds really weird, spontaneous combustion fire monsters, fire demons, if you will. In their world, people just out of nowhere magically set on fire. They just go boom, and fire is everywhere. And they call in the fire force to deal with these guys. These guys do a prayer of the church, and then they put the being who is in flames, in pain, and in torture to rest. And that's how the story really kind of started. And what's really even more interesting than that is, yes, that's how it started, but the way they expanded into this whole thing with spontaneous combustion and how it relates to the rest of the world and all of the world's history, and like there's even this god figure that is behind it all, and the fact that the church seems to be praising the one that is actually the one creating combustions, spontaneous combustions, people to literally just go up in smoke. Most of the story is actually because of our main character, who is named, and I have it up here. I binge watch this anime, so sometimes it's hard for me to learn names. I do know Shinra, and Shinra is our main character, and he has a little brother named Sho. And apparently when he was a child, his family, well, they spontaneously combust. And he somehow has fire powers. There's something inside of him called an Adola burst that is like the key to raging fire powers and the key to the whole thing of spontaneous combustion. And once he finds out from Joker, who is this other weird, crazy guy. I really like Joker. I think my main favorite character probably would be Joker in this anime. He's a lot of fun. He's a wild card. And we just learned his story in Season 2, and oh boy, does he have a story to tell. I can't wait to find out more about Joker. But then we have, of course, the fact that, yes, and I know, spoilers, sorry to say it, but hopefully you are going to go and watch this anime. His brother is actually alive, and it's the bad guys that have him. And he's got to somehow save his brother from that. And the fact is, he has to learn about the Adola Burst and everything about his world. And it's just so interesting. It's just so interesting what they decide to do for the world building of the show. I really like the character of Shinra as well. I really like all of the characters. This is one show that I have not actually seen one character that I didn't like. Like, even some of the villains are actually really entertaining. I gotta admit, this is one show that I really didn't think was going to be one of my favorites. But Fire Force, after especially Season 2, man, I absolutely love this anime. and I hope you guys do indeed go and watch it. I did spoil just a little bit, but there's a whole lot more that I could have talked about in this video. I'm not going to because I want you to go and watch it. I just want to get you interested in it. If you have seen this anime, let me know down in the comments below your thoughts about this anime. Are you going to go and watch it? Where would I rank this anime? So, I would rank it top tier. I know I'm praising this anime as a great anime. I don't think it's god tier yet, and it's definitely not gonna hit my top 10 of all time. But it's a really great anime. It's definitely a top tier anime, and it's definitely not something that I really thought was going to be this interesting. I thought it was just going to be a slice of life show about firefighters. I didn't think that we were going to have such in-depth world building in the show. Thank you guys for watching, and let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. I am out. Bye.